Welcome to HauntLine Studios, the place where the shadows call and the stories fight to be heard. Tonight, we're taking a call from someone who survived something no one should ever see.
Hello? Is this HauntLine Studios? My name's Jessica Holloway. I'm 28 and I live in New York City. I've never done anything like this before, but I need someone to know what's happening. It started a few weeks ago. Late at night, I take the subway home from work, usually empty. Dim lights, that hum of electricity, the sound of steel on steel. Quiet, lonely, safe, I thought. That night, I noticed him. Sitting at the far end of the car. A man. Or I thought it was a man. Pale, featureless face, hunched over, hands folded neatly on his lap. Not moving, not blinking, just sitting there. At first, I ignored him, thought maybe he was just another tired commuter. But then, the lights flickered. And I realized he wasn't on my side of the train. He wasn't there when I looked away. Every time I looked back, he was closer. Not walking, not running, just closer. I tried to tell myself it was imagination, just stress. But the subway lights, they didn't flicker randomly. Shadows stretched strangely around him. Shapes bent slightly. I felt watched. Then the first whisper came. Soft, almost inaudible. Between the hum of the tracks. My name. Jessica. Jessica. I froze. Every hair on my body stood on end. The train rattled over the tracks. The doors hissed. The lights flickered again, and when I looked, he was sitting there. Same place, same posture, but closer. I tried to stand, move, change seats. He mirrored me. Not exactly, but almost. Each time I adjusted, he adjusted. Just enough to be unnerving. The other passengers, they didn't see him. They didn't react. But I could feel the air change, tighten, heavy, thick. Like the temperature dropped around him, around me. Every stop, he stayed. Every flicker of light, he moved slightly. Not fast, just enough to remain at the edge of my vision. I thought maybe it's a joke, maybe someone's playing a prank, but no one else noticed. No cameras, no conductor, no one. Then came the hallucinations. The advertisements in the subway blurred, twisted, words rearranging into warnings. Don't look, don't move. He's here. He's watching. I tried to close my eyes. I tried to breathe slowly. But the whispers didn't stop. Not my name. Something worse. Commands. Suggestions telling me to sit. Sit. Don't move. Don't look. The train slowed. Lights dimmed. And I realized I didn't know how many stops had passed, how long I had been watching him. Every time I thought about getting off, the doors opened, and he was there, at the edge of the platform. Not moving, not blinking, just there. I wanted to scream, to call out, to tell someone, but no sound came. My voice caught somewhere between fear and disbelief. Then the final horror for that ride, he stood, slowly, smoothly, no sound. And for a second, I thought he would walk toward me, but he didn't. He turned and vanished into the shadows of the next car, just like that. Gone. I got off at my stop, heart racing, hands shaking, tried to tell the station attendants, the cameras, anyone. But the footage, nothing. No one there. Just empty subway car. Just me. Alone. I don't know what he wants. I don't know why he's following me. But I know this. Jessica Holloway. I cannot unsee him. And I can still feel him. Sometimes. At the edge of my vision. Waiting. Watching. Learning. Since that night on the subway, things have escalated. I first thought he was just on the train, just some weird commuter. But I was wrong. It started the next evening. I left my apartment late, like usual, just a short walk to the corner store. At first, nothing. Normal streets, the hum of traffic, distant chatter. Then, I felt it. That same heaviness, that same pressure at the edge of my vision. I turned, and for a second, I thought I saw him. Sitting on a bench across the street, head down, pale face, hands folded, just watching. I blinked, and he was gone. I told myself it was my imagination, that I was tired, that maybe I'd been staring too long at the subway shadows. But then, it began following me. Not fast, just keeping pace. Across streets, alleys, around corners. Always at the edge of vision. I tried to lose him. I ducked into a coffee shop, sat at the corner, pretending to read. I watched the door. Nothing. Then, he appeared in my reflection on the window, sitting, just like on the subway. Head down, hands folded, watching, waiting. I spun around. Empty. No one there. I left immediately, started running. And Michael, no, whoever is listening, I swear, the shadows seemed to stretch to follow him. And me. The next day, I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw him sitting in the corner of my room. Just faint. Just blurred. But unmistakable. Watching. Counting. Waiting. Even in my apartment, the hum of electricity, the flicker of lights, the drip of water, all became part of him. He learned how to exist anywhere, not fully there, not fully gone. I tried recording, phone camera, security apps, anything. But every time I review it, nothing. Empty apartment, silent streets, no one, except when I close my eyes. The whispers started then. Not my name this time. Commands, suggestions, telling me where to walk, how to sit, when to blink. He's learning me, studying me, preparing. I tried to talk to someone, roommate, friends. They all said I was tired, paranoid, imagining things. But Michael, whoever is listening, you don't understand. The first time he moved when I wasn't looking, I screamed. I swear I did. Turned the corner. He was there, closer than before. Head down, hands folded. No face, No expression. Just anticipation. I ran again, took another route, checked every reflection, every mirror, every window, and there he was. Always. Just at the edge of vision. I can feel it now, even when I'm sitting at home. Heavy in my chest, tightness at the base of my skull, that faint whisper, always repeating, counting, watching, learning. I can't sleep. I can't eat properly. I can't even leave my apartment without looking over my shoulder every step of the way. And the worst, the absolute worst part, I swear, Michael, he knows what I'm going to do. Before I do it, before I move, before I breathe, before I think. I don't know how much longer I can live like this. And I don't know how long it will take before I'm just another passenger he's waiting to claim.
Last night, I came home from work. My apartment building felt different. He wasn't in the hallway, but the shadows, they were stretched, twisted. Every corner seemed darker than it should be. I tried to tell myself it was imagination, that the stress, the sleep deprivation, was playing tricks on me. But then I saw it. The figure, sitting at the edge of my vision, head down, hands folded, on my couch. Not fully there, blurred, shadowy, but unmistakable. I froze, heart pounding, breath caught. I whispered, "Go away." It didn't move. I blinked, looked again, and it was closer. Not walking, not floating, just there, watching, waiting. I ran to the kitchen, slammed the lights on, checked every corner. Nothing. I turned back, and there it was, reflected in the microwave glass, head down, hands folded, waiting. Michael, whoever's listening, I can't explain the fear. It's not just seeing it, it's knowing it's aware of you, anticipating, learning, mimicking. I tried calling my roommate. No answer. Phone dead. I turned around, and the apartment seemed wrong. Doors slightly off, furniture slightly moved, shadows bending in impossible directions. Every movement I made, it mirrored a fraction of a second later. Not exact, just enough to remind me it was watching. I backed into the living room, and there it was, center of the room now, head raised slightly. I could feel its presence in my chest, heavy, tight, oppressive. I tried to scream. No sound came. I ran to the bedroom, locked the door, checked the window. All normal. At least it should have been. I tried to sleep, tried to calm myself, but every noise, every creak, every whisper of the city outside felt like it was him, counting, watching, waiting. And then the taps started. Not real taps, not on the furniture, not the walls, just in my head, faint, rhythmic, anticipating my thoughts. I covered my ears, closed my eyes, tried to breathe, tried to tell myself it wasn't real, but the reflection in the darkened mirror, I swear, Michael, it blinked before I did. I realized then he doesn't just follow, he controls. He bends reality just enough to remind you you are not safe, not ever. I ran to the hallway, slamming doors, flicking lights. Nothing helped. Every corner, every reflection, every shadow, he was there. And the whispers, now full sentences, commands, suggestions, telling me where to move, how to sit, how to breathe, teaching me, obeying me or making me obey? I don't know anymore, Michael. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't leave my apartment without feeling his presence looming just behind me, waiting, watching, learning. And the worst part? Sometimes I swear I catch him in my reflection, smiling faintly, like he knows exactly what I'm thinking, exactly what I'll do next. I don't know how long I can last like this. I feel trapped in my own apartment, trapped in my own mind, trapped by the sleeper. And I know this isn't over, not even close.
Last night, I thought I'd get some air. Just a short walk to the bodega, to buy water, to remind myself the world outside is normal. It wasn't. The moment I stepped outside, the street lights flickered. Shadows bent toward me, twisted like black threads reaching out. And there, across the street, he was, sitting, head down, hands folded, watching, waiting. I ran. I ducked into an alley, turned corners, tried to lose him, but every time I looked, he was there, closer, just at the edge of vision. People walked by, oblivious, talking on phones, laughing, not seeing anything, but I could feel them sense it, a tension in the air, like the city itself was aware of him. I tried to reach the subway. The lights above me flickered, dimmed, shadows stretched along the walls, and the taps, Michael, faint, rhythmic, anticipating my steps, following me. Then the whispers started, clearer this time, full sentences, not just commands, observations, descriptions of my movements, predictions. She will turn, she will run, she will breathe. I covered my ears, tried to block it out, but even in my head, the voice repeated, constantly, never stopping. And then, the hallucinations. I passed a window, thought I saw someone behind the glass. Not a reflection, not real, but mimicking me, moving slightly ahead of me, anticipating. I ran to a park, hoping to find other people. Maybe his power is weaker in crowds. No, the park was empty. Or it wasn't empty. Shapes, shadows moving independently, flickering lights, trees bending unnaturally. Every step I took mirrored, every breath counted. I tried to scream. No sound came. I ran back to the subway. The stations stretched endlessly, platforms bending, signs flickering, shadows stretching toward me. And there he was, sitting, head down, hands folded, waiting. I realized the entity doesn't just follow me, it's teaching me, controlling my reality. Every reflection, every shadow, every flicker of light obeys it. I tried to take a taxi, get far away, but the streets looped back. I ended up at the same corner I started, the same street lights flickering, the same shadows bending toward me. And Michael, whoever is listening, the worst part, I realized it's patient, eternal, not bound by walls or doors, not bound by reality. It's everywhere, watching, learning, waiting. I don't know how long I wandered. Minutes, hours, days? The loops, they confuse me. Even the city bends to him. I can feel him now, behind me, in front of me, just at the edge of my vision, anticipating my every move, smiling faintly, hollow, calculating.
And I know, Michael, I know I can't escape. The sleeper has become the city itself. And soon, it will claim me completely. Last night, I tried to sleep. I thought maybe if I closed my eyes, it would leave me alone. But it didn't. The moment I shut my eyes, I saw him, sitting at the foot of my bed, head down, hands folded, watching, smiling faintly, hollow. I opened my eyes. Empty room, but I could feel him, heavy, cold, pressing down, counting, waiting, learning. I tried to breathe, tried to calm myself, tried to tell myself it's just hallucination, just exhaustion, just paranoia, but it wasn't. I heard taps, not from the walls, not from furniture, from inside my skull. Faint, rhythmic, anticipating my thoughts, anticipating my movements. I covered my ears. I tried to look away, but the shadows, Michael, the shadows in my apartment, stretched toward me, distorting, twisting, reaching. Then the whispers, clear now, full sentences, observing, mocking, guiding me. You will stand. You will move. You will blink. You will obey. I ran to the living room. I tried to turn on all the lights, but the electricity flickered strangely. Lights dimmed. Shadows deepened. And there, in the corner, he was, closer than ever, watching, waiting, smiling faintly, hollow, patient, eternal. I ran back inside, closed all doors, locked everything. But the taps continued, the whispers continued, inside my head, inside my mind, anticipating, counting, mirroring, controlling. And then the hallucinations became physical. I swear it. Objects in my apartment, moving just out of the corner of my vision. Chairs tilting, tables sliding, shadows shifting. I tried to leave, grabbed my coat, opened the door, and the hallway stretched, twisting, leading nowhere. The building itself, bending to him, leading me back. I screamed. I ran. Every turn, mirrored. Every movement, anticipated. Every breath, predicted. Michael, whoever is listening, I don't think I can survive this. I can't escape. I can't even trust my own senses. I see him in every reflection, every shadow, every corner, smiling faintly, hollow, waiting, patient, eternal. And I know, soon, I will be just another passenger he's claimed, another mind bent, another shadow mirrored, another soul lost. I don't know how long I'll last before he consumes me completely.
I don't know what time it is anymore. The clocks don't make sense. My phone hasn't shown the right time in days, or maybe hours. Every time I check, the numbers blur or repeat or freeze completely, like time itself doesn't want to move forward unless he allows it. I left my apartment. I had to. Staying inside felt like suffocating. The walls leaned in. The ceiling felt lower every time I blinked. The shadows didn't sit still anymore. They listened. They shifted whenever I thought about moving, like they were waiting for instructions. So I grabbed my coat and stepped outside. The hallway of my building was longer than it should have been. I've lived there for 3 years. I know exactly how many steps it takes to reach the elevator. But this time, it kept going. Door after door after door, stretching forward like a tunnel. The lights overhead flickered in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Tap, tap, tap. The sound wasn't coming from the lights. It was coming from inside my head. Each tap matched my heartbeat. I didn't look back. I already knew better than that. When I finally reached the lobby, the glass doors reflected the street outside, and for just a moment, I thought I saw him standing behind me in the reflection. Head down, hands folded. I didn't turn around. Outside, the city felt hollow. Not empty, hollow. Cars moved, but their engines sounded muffled, like they were underwater. People walked past me, but their faces looked unfocused, like unfinished sketches. No one made eye contact. No one noticed how hard I was shaking. The streetlights buzzed faintly, and their shadows stretched too far across the pavement, overlapping each other in impossible angles. Every shadow leaned toward me. I started walking. Not running. Not yet. I told myself that if I acted normal, maybe the city would behave normally too. Maybe he wouldn't notice me if I blended in. That was a lie. The whispers returned. Not loud, not frantic. Calm, observational. She will cross the street. She will hesitate. She will look up. I froze. The crosswalk light changed from red to green without making a sound. The white walking figure flickered, glitched, and for a split second, it looked like him. Head down, hands folded. I crossed anyway. Halfway across the street, I felt it, that familiar pressure behind my eyes, that sense of being studied from every angle at once. I didn't need to turn my head to know he was there. I could feel his attention sliding over me, learning, adjusting. When I reached the other side, the buildings looked taller than before. Their windows reflected distorted versions of the street, angles that didn't line up, perspectives that didn't make sense. In some of them, I saw myself walking seconds before I actually did, like the reflections were ahead of me, predicting me. I started to panic. I ducked into a convenience store. The bell above the door rang, but the sound echoed too long, stretching unnaturally. The cashier stood behind the counter, staring down at nothing. I asked him if he could see anything strange outside. He didn't respond. I asked again. Slowly, mechanically, he lifted his head, and for just a fraction of a second, his face went slack. Empty. Still. The same posture. Head down, hands folded. I stumbled backward, knocking over a rack of chips. The sound was deafening in the quiet store. When I looked back at the cashier, he was normal again, blinking, confused, asking if I was okay. I ran. I didn't care where anymore. I ran down streets that curved too sharply, through intersections that repeated themselves past the same graffiti mural 3 times in a row, unchanged, perfectly identical. The city was looping, guiding me, hurting me. The taps in my head grew faster. Tap, tap, tap. Each one synced with my footsteps. I ended up at the subway entrance without meaning to. The stairs descended into darkness. The familiar smell of metal and dust hit me like a memory from another life. I didn't want to go down there, but the street behind me felt worse. The shadows were thicker now, longer, crawling over each other like living things. So I descended. The platform was empty. No trains, no announcements, just the hum of electricity and the faint drip of water somewhere far away. The lights flickered. I stood still. That's when I realized something horrifying. The platform wasn't empty. At the far end, just beyond where the light fully reached, someone was sitting on one of the benches. I didn't need to see his face. I already knew. Head down, hands folded. He wasn't moving. He didn't need to. The entire city felt like it was leaning toward him, toward us. The whispers stopped. The taps stopped. Silence. And in that silence, I understood something that made my stomach drop. He wasn't chasing me anymore. He didn't need to. The city had already delivered me.
Hello, it's Jessica Holloway. I don't know if this call will even reach anyone. I don't know if anyone is listening, but I have to speak. I have to tell someone anything before it finishes me. The subway platform, the station, it wasn't normal anymore. I could feel it in every tile, every beam of light. The air was thicker, heavier, as though the tunnels themselves were watching. Every echo of my footsteps slowed, stretched, bent unnaturally, and he was there. Head down, hands folded, calm, patient, eternal. I froze. The lights flickered. Shadows pooled like liquid across the walls, crawling toward me. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream, but my legs wouldn't. Every step I tried to take slowed, as if the city itself was holding me back. The taps in my head, they were relentless now. Faster, louder, counting, predicting, mocking. Every movement, every thought, already known. I looked around, tried to find another exit. Doors led to nowhere. Stairs twisted endlessly. Platforms looped back. The walls leaned toward him, toward me, toward whatever was happening. I turned, and for a moment, I thought I saw someone else, another passenger, crouched on the edge of the platform, pale, head down, hands folded, smiling faintly, hollow, patient, eternal. It wasn't real. Or maybe it was. I don't know anymore. I started running. Every corridor, every passage led me back here. The platform, the figure, the shadows. I could feel him inside me. Not physically, not yet, but inside my mind, counting my heartbeat, syncing with my thoughts, learning me, becoming part of me. I tried to call out. My voice didn't work. Nothing came out. The whispers returned, full sentences, observations. She is tired. She is weak. She cannot leave. She is mine. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, they were bending, stretching, swallowing light. Shadows stretched over me. The air thickened, pressing against my chest. Every inhalation, impossible. I fell to my knees, my hands pressed to my face. I wanted to close my eyes. Maybe then it would stop. It didn't. When I opened my eyes, he was closer, not sitting, standing now, faint, shifting, head down, hands folded, the shadows around him alive, moving, waiting.
I could feel the taps in my skull, inside my own thoughts, counting, predicting, learning, teaching me to obey. I screamed, but the sound didn't leave my throat. I tried to run, tried to push past the figure, but the shadows grabbed my legs, twisting, coiling, heavy. The platform seemed to fold over me. The floor beneath me warped, the walls closed in. And then the city itself moved. Buildings bent, streetlights arced toward the tunnels, shadows spilled from windows and stairwells. The entire environment, every part of the subway, every street above, every corner was alive, responding, obeying him. I fell. The shadows claimed me, crawling up my legs, my arms, merging into me, wrapping around me, pressing into my skin, into my mind. Head down, hands folded. I could feel him there, in my chest, in my head, in the spaces between breaths, teaching, consuming, owning. Michael, whoever's listening, I am gone. The last thing I felt was calm, faint, hollow, eternal. And then silence. Not the quiet of the city, not the hum of electricity. A different silence. A silence that waits. A silence that watches. Somewhere out there, someone else will walk these streets, take this train, and maybe, just maybe, they'll see him. Head down, hands folded, smiling faintly, hollow, patient, eternal. The sleeper never leaves. And now it has me.
If you love the slow burn of fear, the stories that creep under your skin, subscribe now. Don't fight the darkness. Let it follow you.